Okay, so this is the statistics and probability module. We're in statistics, and this is lesson one, mean, median, mode, and range. You have this checklist, so this is the first lesson, second lesson, so forth. All right, so let me move this up just a touch. Okay. Uh, the mean is the average of the data. It can be found by adding the data and dividing it by the number of data points. So if you add these numbers, you're going to get 42, and then you count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we divide by 5, and we get 8.4. Okay. The median is that middle number or the mean of the two middle numbers. So if you've got an odd number of numbers, you're going to get one right in the middle. If you've got an even number, you're going to get two in the middle. So the first thing to find the median, you have to put them in order from least to greatest. So if we put these in order from least to greatest, we've got 3, 5, 8, 10, 12. Now, you may have been taught to count when you count down to mark these off. I don't want you to do that because we're going to have to continue using these numbers in tomorrow's lesson. So you can check them off on top like this, something like this, until you get to that middle. So our middle number is 8. If you've got 1 in the middle, I want you to circle it, and that's your median. Now, both of these are measures of center. This is a measure of center, and this is a measure of center. That means they measure the center of the data, but they measure them in different ways. And we'll get more into that in a different lesson. All right, so let's get back to this. So we put them in order. We've got 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and 11. And when you count down to the middle, you'll notice you've got 2 numbers in the middle. You don't end up with just 1. So when you get 2, what I want you to do is draw a line, okay, to separate those 2 numbers. And there's a reason we do this, and we'll get into that in the next lesson. But then you add those 2 numbers. You've got to find out what's exactly in the middle of those 2 numbers. So you add them together. What we're doing is finding the mean of those 2 numbers. Just like we found the mean of these numbers up here, we're going to find the mean of these 2 numbers. So we add them. And since it's 2 numbers, we divide it by 2, and we get 5. So we write that right below our line and circle it. Now that's how I want you doing the median. Okay? If it's 1 in the middle, you circle it. If there's 2 in the middle, you draw a line between them and put your median down below it. The mode is the one that you have the most of. Now this can be, there can be no mode, like they can all be the same. You can have just one mode, as in the case here, where we have 10, 10, and 10. Now, we had 2 2s. If we had 3 2s, we would have 2 modes. We could have a 10 and a 2. But in this case, we've just got one that's got the most. So that is our 10. The range is the spread. Whoops, I didn't mean to mark that out. I meant to underline it. But the spread of the data. How far spread out is it? And to find out how big it's spread out, you take your biggest number and subtract your smallest number. And we get 22. So this one is spread out over 22 numbers. Okay? All right. As an example, let's see. Give me just a second. I need to get this down here in our screen. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got the ages of people on a bus. All right. So these are all the different ages. We're going to find the mean, median, mode, and range. So step one, since I know I'm going to find the median, I'm just going to go ahead and put them in order, okay? So we've got 4, 8, 18, 19, 24, 24, 47, 55, and 63. All right, so to find the mean, you add them all up, and when you add them all up, you get 262, and you divide that by how many numbers you've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you get 29.1 repeating. So we're just going to put a line over it to show that's repeating. The median, we count down to the middle. So we're going to count down here, all the way down, and we end up with this 1 in the middle. So my median is 24. The mode, we only have one mode. The 24 happens twice, nothing else happens twice. My range is my biggest number minus my smallest number. So 63 minus 4 is 59. Okay? So that's what you're going to do on the inside here. Now I want to go over to the second page on the inside. And I can get my screen to change. All right. You've got a dot plot. Now, my recommendation for a dot plot is to write all these numbers down and then do all this. I know you're not going to do that. Okay? I just know you're not. So the mean is not too bad. Now remember, what this means is I have 2 zeros. Now those zeros are part of that data set, just like the 1s and the 2s and the 3s and 4s, 5, 3 6s, 1 7, and 2 8s. So I would write them all down. But now some dot plots are pretty big, so that might be unreasonable. But here's what happens. You forget to count your zeros, or you mess up on the medians. But I know this is what y'all are going to try to do, so I'm going to show you the best way to do this. So we add them up. 0 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, 4, 4. You see, and so forth. So you just add them all up. And when you add them all up, you are going to get 72. And we count them. We've got 20. It tells us there's 20. So 72 divided by 20 is 3.6. Now, when you go to do the median, start over here, count down to your middle. So we count down just like that, marking off one side and then the other, just like if they were in a row of numbers. And look here, I've got 2 left. So that means I've got 2 in the middle. And these 2 in the middle are my 3 and my 4. So for the median, I've got to add 3 plus 4, which gives me 7, divide it by the 2 numbers, and I get 3.5. All right, the mode is really easy to see in a dot plot. It's the one that's got the highest column. So that would be our 1. And the range, we just take our biggest number, subtract. Remember, these zeros are valid data points. This is the number of hours spent studying. Some students, 2 students, didn't study any. So that 0 is a valid data point. So 8 minus 0 is 8. All right. So now on your checklist, this was your lesson. Finish this packet. Finish the little pamphlet thing. In the book, you're going to do pages 419, number 1 through 7. You've got 2 Khan Academies. Be prepared for the quiz. Okay? All right? If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, have a great day.